Hello everybody, thank you for coming back to the channel and welcome to this new video on the P51. This is going to be a P51, doesn't look like it, right? But I haven't done any other progress since the end of last video because I was about to remove the mock-up of landing gear and put in the new one, or the definite one. But then I realized that if I do that, then I won't be able to take it apart and then put in the glue. So one of the important things of building these models is to go somehow slowly and think a lot. It's a lot of the thinking process. Because, as I say, if I take this out and put in the new one, then I won't be able to take it out anymore. The challenge is to bend this 1.5mm rod inside without damaging the whole thing. But I think what I'm going to do then is I'm going to do the equivalent structure of this balsa and ply and the pop rivets for the other wing. I'm going to go here, as you can see it, and then I'm going to take it all apart, and then I'm going to glue basically the plywood and everything in place. Maybe the servo not yet, because the servo I'm thinking maybe to putting a wire or something to hold it in place. So I still have to think there a little bit. And then once it's all in place and glued and fixed, then is when I'll be able to remove this. I can remove it already now, but then I'll be removing the mock-up undercarriage and I'm putting in the final one, so, or the permanent one. So just note to self to not rush things with these things, because sometimes mistakes will be very costly to fix, basically. Anyhow, follow me along on this one. Hopefully I'll get some progress and you see it when it's already glued together and already trying to assemble the final undercarriage legs. Hello and welcome to this update. Let's see, there is some progress, but I don't know if I can show it actually. I've managed to bend in the wires for the landing gear and also the connecting rods, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's very hard to bend this 1.5mm wire in a square shape, somehow with square corners, so it's all too rounded. So I'm not completely happy, and it's been a challenge to get it to somehow work, and I have the feeling that it won't always work. So let me try it now, just putting on some pretend wheels. The real wheels are being ordered and they'll be delivered hopefully sometime soon, and I can go to the shop and pick them up. But and I've got a cardboard one with the size that somehow is showing the size. So let's see if I can actually, okay, retract. This one goes up beyond, but I discovered that if it's blocked here by something, then the other one also goes up, right? So this one will have this tendency to be a little bit stronger. So somehow then I can put it down. Somehow it works, right? Like gently, not to do it. If I do it too much, it also gets stuck. One wheel goes up more than the other. My fear is that if it ever flies and it lands, it's still going to be a wobbly landing, right? And you see, even if it's got the wire here, it's still going to be, will it be able to take the hit and the side loading and things like that? I'm not completely sure actually. So I don't know if I can do it better. There is for sure a way of doing it better, but I'm not sure I can do it better. So I might actually go with it. I might just trim here the push rods a little bit and maybe drop a little bit of glue. I've put some thread here so that the push rods don't move out. I'm happy with the fact that it does kind of retract, because then the next step is going to be also to build the wheel wells all around it. Once I have the wheels, adapt the ribs. I think that's rib number 2, which I don't know which one. This one, rib number 2, which is coming in here. Then I need to cut it a little bit and make sure that it all fits. It's just fitting in quite tight between the spar and the leading edge, so a little bit tight. Luckily the P51 has the leading edge close to the fuselage, actually goes forward a little bit, as you might be able to see here in the plan, so that might actually help me a little bit. So a little bit of very delicate, and I'm not sure if entirely functional, landing gear which is retractable, somehow in place. Other than that, I've glued already the spar together. This I have not glued yet, it still has the bolt, because in case I need to change it or something, but that will also be glued in and fixed. I've made some holes to put in some wires and everything like that. And I've also started to do the other ribs. I've got them lying around somewhere, because that's then going to be the continuation of the construction of the wing and the wheel wells, as I say. So let's see how it goes. Let's do a bit of the retracting and extension just for fun. I'll keep you posted as I build more around this. And an update on the build and some considerations. So the jig with the landing gear is there. I still don't have the wheels. I might be able to pick them up tomorrow. Let's see if I have time. What I've been doing, and maybe you can see them, I've pretty much done all the ribs, I believe. I've put them in pairs, and because I'm doing, of course, them for both wings at a time, so I've got them all. It's a bit of a mess. It was in better shape a minute ago, but all the ribs are there. It's, I think, 10 ribs on each side, so that's 20 ribs cut out. And I've also traced out the trailing edge. I figured out that the trailing edge is actually here, you can see it, but actually I took it from the wing. I drew it a little bit there so that I could trace it. So I've got the two trailing edges that will go somewhat like this. That's going to be one, and the other one, of course, is going to be then the middle side. And then for the leading edge, Joe Lamb, one of the long-term followers, came up with a point, which is a very interesting point, that having a leading edge which is also very thin is actually not good for an RC model. I never thought of it, but it does make sense when he explains it. For the rubber powered models it's okay, because it will not hit the stalling speed or the stalling angle so often. One that is radio controlled will actually maneuver quite a lot and go up and down. So he's recommending that I have, instead of a very sharp leading edge, that I have a much rounder leading edge. So not just this the thin 1.5mm balsa, but to have a wider, a rounder, thicker leading edge that will actually be more conductive to have, let's say, less stalling characteristics. So I've been thinking about it, so that's one of the great things of YouTube, that your comments have helped. So what I've started to do, what I think I'm going to do, I'm going to take with a 10mm or 9mm thick balsa, I'm going to make thick leading edges and then carve them down as I did on the Antonov, and hopefully it will also be quite strong. I'm going to need to adapt all the ribs one by one. That I'll probably do then on the plan. And what I started to do is cut out part of the leading edge. Now on the P51, let's see if you can see it actually, the wing towards the wing root actually is split, like has a double angle, like it comes out and then goes further back and then goes straight out. So I've already started to take this piece, which is going to be the leading edge. This will be forward, and then the main leading edge will come out from this side, right? So I still have to do that one. I've done one side and still preparing the other one. Still have to figure out how this is going to go. Somehow like this I think it will go. I'll have to cut out this also, and then the rest of the wing will go here. Probably a bit flat. I have to polish that up. But anyhow, some considerations there. Quite a lot of work with a 10mm. A point also with working with wood is patience is the trick, right? To do a cut of these, if it's within the grain, it's within, let's say, 10 cuts, it's there. Depends how sharp your blade is, and mine never is. But if you want to do against the grain, then it's a matter of time and patience. So the recommendation is to just listen to Cliff building his own models and fixing his Spitfire was today, and cut along and try to get the shape with peace and quiet and calm. And that's actually the enjoyable part of the hobby, a very enjoyable part of the hobby, a lot of enjoyable parts of the hobby. In any case, I'll finish this other piece and then I might actually go to bed, and then the next step is going to be to get the wheels and continue with the leading edges, and let's see how that goes on. Wingtips also have to be done, right? So a lot of things are coming together. Let's see if at least I can show you the new wheels before I wrap up this video. Let me wrap up this video, because if not it's going to drag on. So I've got the new wheels. I managed to go to the shop and pick them up. Made in Taiwan, by the way, which is great. I didn't know this brand and I probably will never find it again, but there's these wheels made in Taiwan. Always good to have things made in free countries, right? So now the landing gear, as you see, goes up. The right landing gear, I haven't seen it, right? Let me do it again. So right landing gear goes up. If I hold that one in place, then also the left one goes up. I'm not too worried about it going above the spar because there'll be something to hold it in place, like namely a rib or something will stop it. Now when it's on the down position, here the left landing gear is relatively sturdy. It's connected, you might be able to see it, it's connected through the servo to the other wheel, to the other landing gear. So relatively, I say it's not completely sturdy, but relatively. Now the right landing gear is completely wobbly, you see, and I think that's because if we look at the left landing gear, this connection, this wire from the landing gear to the connection to the servo is actually kind of perpendicular, so it prevents it from moving. On this other one, as I've been doing some kind of adjustments to get it to be up and down, let's see if you can see it, it's not, so it actually gives a lot more. So what I want to do, let's see if it keeps the focus, I want to take this apart, straighten this, bring it back up into the kind of the perpendicular position, and then I'm going to need to make either a new push rod from these or try to straighten this one out and actually make the connector like half a centimeter, maybe 3/4 of a centimeter a bit further outboard, and let's see if like that it prevents this kind of very sloppy. Ideally at least like this, which as I say, it's not completely sturdy but much more than this one. In any case, that's going to take me some effort. I'm going to have to take apart the horn off and unbend, bend and things like that again, so that I'm going to try to do it kind of offline, and then on the next chapter hopefully I'll start with the building of the wing and the wheel wells. With the wheel wells, actually a very interesting part. I'm not sure how to do them, I'll have to figure it out. In any case, as always, thank you everybody for following along and for all your tips and recommendations, and I'll see you next time.